Welcome to the Climate Change Comedy Special. The Earth is on fire. We're all gonna die. The ice caps are melting. It's hot in the summer. The seas are rising everywhere, but at the Obama's Martha's Vineyard Oceanside Estate. And hurricanes are blowing harder than Kamala on a job interview. Oh my God, we're all gonna die from the weather. But that's what we're going with, like we were going with President Joe Biden. Just like we were going with First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden. Double, is not a trash racist or dumb and not a lady. Not like Michelle Obama, not a lady, just adultery, which in DC they just call lunch. I wonder if Dr. Jill called it being on the down low when she cheated at the beginning of her storybook romance with the recently cooed
You said you've seen Coon.
President Joe, the pedo.
There's nothing pervy here.
Have we gone down low enough? Nope. I give you President Kamala. Kamala.
Her name is pronounced comma, like the punctuation mark luck.
Shut up.
Kamala. Bastardization.
So what?
Kamala.
You disrespect Kamala Harris by saying you will call her whatever you want.
Will you shut up?
So now you're calling me racist.
You insufferable twats. President Kamala. Good Lord. That's...
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do.
That's awesome. So anyway, many are questioning the integrity of my information. Weird. Stolen election. COVID jabs are killers. Trans is a social contagion more deadly than the jabs. Climate change is worse, but I've done the research. I'm well read. I have all the books. Sure, I haven't read all the books. It's kind of like saying you're well hung because you have 6 copies of Photoshop when you only need 1 to put your face on former Congressman Anthony Weiner's face. Remember that underwear model guy? The pic he sent to the teenager? Remember that guy? Hillary's girlfriend, Huma. Ew. Her ex, although I think she's now George Soros' son, Alexander. Alex. His current beard, so she's still a lesbian because he is, and Hillary. Gross. Anyway, in defense of the Honorable Mr. Weiner, she was 15, but she looked like 15 and a half.
And she's 15, and you know, pretty soon you find yourself in a lot of trouble.
Bad Wiener things were found on Hunter Biden's laptop. You know, the one that doesn't exist anymore. But he went to jail, Wiener jail, which never happens to Democrat pedos. Thankfully, sweet Lady Justice, Hunter is still free and clear, maybe in the pedo protection program, living next to a playground, probably. Good job, FBI, as usual. And there are so many of those scumbags, too. Some pedos become president. Well, not by being elected, but whatever. In America, by the way, a pedo showering with his daughter.
Actually, she mentions in the diary, showers with her
And
dad.
soiling himself with dementia for over 4 years, way over. A totally corrupt moron for the 50 years before that. President of the United States, not Emperor of Rome. Look what happened to the Roman Empire when they went down low, like really low. Caligula was banging his sisters at the dinner table when company was over, which is rude. Hunter, showering with your sis? Or was that just dad? I think he elected his horse to the Senate, Caligula, and not anyone from the Biden Perv Brigade. Although we elected a herd of horse-faced cows to Congress called the Squad. But it ain't pretty, that's for sure. No. So seriously, have we gone down low enough? Where's Jeffrey Epstein's flight logs when you need them? Right, the FBI lost those too. Oh, they're in my other pantsuit. Or dumpster, Christopher Wray, you piece of Is pedo adjacent a thing? He looks the part. Call me too. Oh yeah, but how about that Secret Service for the Trump assassination? Miracle ear. Whatever. You know, the shooter was the only kid in the world who never used social media. Plus, he was a BlackRock spokesmodel or something. Sort of. But the Honorable Secret Service deleted videos, texts, forgot to check the roof. As usual, like the FBI. But don't worry, the FBI is investigating. Best part, they cremated the body of the kid perp 2 seconds after they shot him. Gosh, that's weird. Remember when they cremated the bodies of COVID jab enthusiasts before doing autopsies? Remember when they dumped Bin Laden's body off the battleship and into the ocean before anybody could have a look-see? Noticing a pattern here? Destroying bodies of evidence? Never. Good Lord. You're fucked, but it is funny. Anyway, more wiener penis fun is to Photoshop the little CNN guy. Brian Stelter, former CNN guy, still little, I think, for your wiener or penis or disappointing Johnson, as I like to call mine. Because Brian Stelter looks like a penis and Magic Johnson is a guy. I think he invented AIDS. He was like LeBron James in the 80s, but without slaves making his shoes, which is nothing like slaves mining the shit for your Tesla battery, right? Save the planet, army of retards. Plus, Magic Johnson sounds like a great porn name.
Where were we? Is it true what they say about the way you people are gifted? It's true.
And he lived up to it, those NBA dudes.
Hey, where are the white women at?
The point is, I tell the truth. So let's do some more of that tonight. Welcome to the beautiful imaginary theater where we're coming to you live. in the heart of downtown Griftersville, Washington, D.C. Really, it's true. I mean it. Speaking of bullshit, climate change. Dun dun dun. I don't know if you've heard, but the earth is on fire and we're all going to die like Tuesday. Wait, one more Brian Stelter thing. He had a show called Reliable Sources on CNN. Nice use of irony. It should have been called Endless Piles of Bullshit Yak from the Mouth of a Guy Who Looks Like a Penis. Or Weeble.
Weebles waddle, but they don't fall down.
Or Weeble Penis. God, that's dumb. Like when Brian Stelter was at the World Economic Forum as an expert speaker.
You're cracking me up.
Giving a talk about truth in media in front of tens of people, like when he was on a high chair at CNN. All right, that's really it for Brian Stelter, who's a little dick. Right, climate change. No, wait, last time, I promise. This one's about the trans thing, so it's actually a real thing, and it's actually a real problem. So yes, some people are born gay, or not, probably more chemicals in the fake breast milk, not milk from fake breasts. Is that a thing? No, probably. But whatever. Anyway, Louis C.K. described it well. There's gay, like I'm Charles in a bespoke, custom-tailored suit. Same thing, but bespoke sounds fancy, so shut up. I'm fastidiously preparing an elegant dinner, like a scene from, Suits, that show with the handsome gay fella, actor guy. I think he's gay. Of course he is. It's Hollywood.
Man, everyone's gay once in a while.
I'm not gay. Just how we do this.
It's like a rule. And there's gay like, hello, what's for breakfast? Semen. But it's unnatural, the gay thing, like semen for breakfast. But maybe that's more like, hi tea, you silly Brits. England, speaking of empires falling down low, they used to be badass knights fighting for God and country and dental care, and now they're pussy cops or soccer hooligans too drunk or emasculated to protect the honor of the women. See, history repeating is a bitch. Like the Squad, gaggle of bitches. Anyway, it goes against nature, the gay thing. Also the Squad. Gay doesn't propagate the species, and that's the biological imperative of living things. Make more living things. Yes, gay is real. Albeit unnatural. Keep it gay. Too swishy. And it sounds painful, even in high school. Also unnatural and painful. But trans is mental illness.
Celebrating Transgender Day of Visibility here at the White House.
It's a man, baby.
But maybe don't prove the point by killing me or my dog. Maybe dear, sweet, and kind, not psycho at all.
Nashville police keep identify the shooter as police say identifies as transgender.
Every single mass school shooting in the last 2 years has been carried out by a transgender individual.
Is there a problem? She's like, yeah, you're using the women's restroom.
This is what the trans genocide in this country has brought me to.
Trans enthusiasts.
That wasn't weird.
So be occasionally gay, like Hollywood, but chopping up your body to fix your brain.
Miss my penis?
That you flooded with testosterone, estrogen, Lupron, that gentle little drug for castrating pedos. Great use there. Double shots all around. Okay, but now they call it a puberty blocker. Seems fairly innocuous. Trendy, right? No, that's so fucked. See how these evil bastards roll? So confused children, young people watching TikTok celebrating trans best for all. US TikTok, of course. The China version teaches love for country, military, chopping off the other guy's dick. Not yours. Weird. But when you're feeling lonely and confused and fat and ugly like the Squad or the View, just kidding, not really. Anyway, really, please don't destroy your body, your future, your soul. And please don't, please don't go to the school nurse with the purple hair or some idiot psychologist who's just as corrupted as dumb and evil.
So the child has the right to be protected from the parents when the parents behave badly.
For guidance. They're the sick ones. Hopefully you have a loving mom and a dad who knows his way around a Louisville Slugger.
What is that which gives me joy? Baseball.
To protect you from the social contagion and support you and reassure you and guide you and show you that there's a very real, statistically significant chance that the very real discomfort, even agony, that you're feeling is just a normal, shitty part of growing up. And by the way, if your parents are pushing you down the transgender path, pretty sure Amazon sells Louisville Sluggers. Or maybe just have them cut their junk off first. Brilliant. The you go first rule. Mom who hasn't had any attention in 20 years and now wants to put her son in a dress so she's relevant again. And dad who hasn't been laid in 20 years so he's emasculated already symbolically, who lost his penis.
Maybe it's in your vagina.
You know.
Gay, just celibate. that sounds gay. I just want you to know.
Pussy. Hashtag irony. But really, if you think you might be trans, just know growing up is tough for everybody. Everybody. But it's all going to be okay. Unless you mutilate yourself before your brains fully develop. Parents' brains too. Apparently, you sick pricks. Where's your honor? Tigers only eat their young when their kid's retarded, not the parent. Anyway, I, for one, have never been comfortable in my own skin, especially now that it's stretching and sagging a bunch. And apparently, I will never be comfortable in my own face.
I look weird, but otherwise I'm real normal.
Or behind it.
ugly motherfucker.
I don't know. By the way, definitely know those beautiful people, those celebs feigning fabulousness, are totally fabricated Photoshop fiends.
I can't go out.
How do I act so well? What I do is I pretend.
And the most insecure among us.
Yeah. You're confused.
No, you're going to be okay. They're not, but who cares? Fuck them. Anyway, have at it, gays. Make America gay again, or whatever. It worked for France a few years ago, or England a few minutes ago.
And now for something completely different.
But I don't care what you do in bathhouses, houses of Congress, forest preserves, parking backwards like Adam Kinzinger, or in the limo on the way to your CNN or MSNBC show talking to no one. Liberty, freedom, great. But hey, teacher, transies, cows on the view, leave them kids alone. God damn it, leave them alone. Or come see Dad with the Louisville Slugger by the bike racks after school. Is that still a thing? It should be. Oh, stop. I just mean sports are good, healthy. I'm not suggesting violence, inciting violence, legally speaking. Just a gentle mocking. Although I'm not sure that's legally speaking either. But good job, England, you pussies. Arrested for memes. Pussies. But young people just know when they're lying to you, which is always with whatever destructive agenda bullshit du jour.
Now, first of all, I'm transgender.
Everybody's gay and everybody else is a bigoted, homophobe, transphobe, white guy plotting to remote control women's vaginas. Or men's, I suppose. See, it's nuts. Just don't cut yours off. Gay is fine, who cares? But trans is mental illness weaponized as a social contagion. And by the way, that's bad. Way worse, it's evil. So typically, among the atypical, less than 2% of the population, until they brainwash already confused kids and idiot adults, by the way, gays and lesbians and trans and those on the fence, which sounds like it hurts, be careful, are generally unattractive outcasts, needing attention, and always deeply unhealthy and unsatisfied, other than maybe Ellen or Rosie O'Donnell or Hillary, who were sweet when they were little boys or boyish. Not Hillary. Oh, never. Have you ever seen a happy, smiling, not weird at all lesbian? Me neither.
You can take your knots someplace because I am about full up.
Don't stare at me, you got the bug eye.
Well, maybe Anderson Cooper, Alexander Soros, Alex, but those chicks shouldn't count. And not the fake OnlyFans lesbians. That's acting, bad acting, and expensive. Just kidding. Not about the fake part. Anyway, a smiling, happy, not weird at all lesbian is rare, like spotted owl in a flannel shirt, or maybe a white rhino rare in a bigger flannel shirt, because the butch lesbians can get a bit husky. If you follow the science, you'll find that to be true, and hopefully not slanderous. Anyway, it's unnatural, and it goes against nature because it takes a male and female to make the thing work, but only one should be in a flannel. Speaking of making things work, my girl, the best girl ever, asked when I haven't seen her for a while, like 3 hours or whatever. Told you she's the best. Asked if I ever take matters into my own hands.
What were you doing? Were you watching Spank Television?
But no, I'm old. I just turned 30. It's a waste of resources, which are dwindling. It's hard enough. Sometimes. It's difficult. The point is, I'm not Weinsteining into a plant, like a house plant with leaves and stuff and sprinkling other stuff on them. What kind of Neanderthal? Oh, look, a pretty girl, I hump a shrubbery. Like he actually did, that sick fella. But it's just wasteful. So see, I believe in saving the planet and conservation of resources to be a good steward of the earth. Climate change thing, which is a liberal thing, on opposite day, as usual. It used to be a conservative thing, conserving things, but it's all a scam and a story for another special that no one will see. But the climate change scam, that's today, and hopefully we'll start talking about the subject of today's show sometime today, weather permitting. Which it won't, because the North Pole just fell into the ocean and the tsunamis are coming. So climate change, yeah, no, wait. So every Hollywood starlet went through him, Weinstein, or he went through them, which is horrible, horrible, and why all actresses are so crazy. But I heard that Brad Pitt had a word with Weinstein when he tried to pull that "come look for my stretch marks" move on Pitt's then girlfriend, that insufferable vagina-scented candle chick, Gwyneth Paltrow. But how cool is Brad Pitt? And I believe that story. Why? Because he's so good looking, which makes it true. Totally right. You know what? Brad Pitt is evidence of God. Tall and handsome, protects his girl from a Hollywood perv, which again, is all of them atheists. I give you, no, it should be God giving you. You want proof? Sounds like Klaus Schwab again. I'm trying to channel Charlton Heston.
Behold his mighty hand.
Non-believers, you don't need faith, Dead Sea Scrolls, or my son with the great hair who was born in Wakanda. Coming back for the Easter egg hunt, I give you Brad Pitt. And also Bride Stelter has an uncanny resemblance to Anthony Weiner's Magic Johnson. So see, there is a God, and he agrees with me about everything. Okay, right, climate change. So all we need is $100 trillion for EVs and solar panels and windmills and rides on Kamala's electric short bus.
Can you raise your hand if you love a yellow school bus, right?
$100 trillion to save the world from a fake thing. $100 trillion. You heard that right, but you heard that wrong. Guess why? Because they lie about everything. So some definitive books on important subjects like climate change having little to do with penises, hopefully, include words from the renowned medical institution which started the very lucrative, by the way, transgender, which is not a scientific reality. Sex reassignment, gender switcheroo, brain scramble fad with Dr. Money. Seriously, Dr. Money, the pedo-psychiatrist from Johns Hopkins. Their statement went something like this: we're not doing trans surgeries anymore because everybody is killing themselves after we cut off their...
I didn't need my penis, and now I want to have it.
All right, that's the last penis thing. Probably.
What does it feel like to miss your penis?
I mean, it's tough.
More to the point, there's Dr. Jerome Corsi's The Truth About Energy, Global Warming, and Climate Change. He's an astonishingly smart academic doctor, like Dr. Jill. And for COVID Fun, Pandemia by Alex Berenson, and even The Real Anthony Fauci by Robert Kennedy Jr., who, despite getting the Fauci stuff right, might be a wee bit crazy, particularly about climate change. The point is, inbreeding is bad. Just don't do it. Don't marry your cousin, even if she's got most of her teeth and her ankles look real sexy through that slit in her burqa. But it's super bad for the gene pool. It's peeing in the gene pool or skinny dipping in the gene pool with Michael Moore. It's gross. And it retards development, like KJP, Karine Jean-Pierre, whose parents must be brother and sister, or Kamala, whose parents must be congenital twins. So listen up, British royalty, Kennedys, Ashkenazi Jews, not just the Muslims, although they're way better at it, inbreeding, which is to say, way worse. So stop cousin humping. That's crass. Just don't marry your kin. Speaking of retarded, did you see the Yay Palestine?
Rape, murder, arson, and rape.
You said rape twice.
I like rape.
Yay Palestine! Protester kids still screaming through their silly mask kefir costumes to kill all the Jews.
That's naughty behavior.
And hide from, I guess, prosecution, of course. And more, of course, from reason and accountability. But remember, libs love playing dress up too. It's not just the kids. COVID, Black Lives Matter to large white women. Climate change, whatever, any chance to hit the costume closet, and they're in. Come on, admit it. Did you feel kind of cool strapping on that COVID mask first time, maybe? Like you were going into battle, or bursting onto the field at the Super Bowl with your brothers in arms? If the Super Bowl was the one with the chicks in lingerie?
This is Shakira Benito.
But does the idea of the dreaded monkeypox pandemic looming on the horizon have you tugging on your banana a bit, metaphorically, hopefully, but excited to strap on 3 masks and itching to throw some poop at the maskless heathens killing grandma? Come on, you can tell me. Nobody's watching. Literally. But as children playing dress up, wearing 3 masks in their EV, Starbucks in one hand, New York Times where a child's car seat should be, where the car seat has a dog strapped in it, on his way to getting matching haircuts with the mask-tard driving the sled. Mask-tard. That's good stuff. Hashtag stand with Ukraine stamped on their forehead, BLM sign in the yard. I'm with her bumper sticker on your stupid Prius, or stupider Tesla. It's all performative, right? And speaking of bad performances, do we really have to say Hamas? Shut up. Talk American. You know, like those newscaster losers? I am reporting from the Wonder Bread factory ladling mayonnaise. Back to you, Chet. I'm Rodrigo Rodriguez reporting. Or other posers like Obama with his Pakistan, the one in Jersey, John Kerry. Or how about Hillary? I ain't no ways tired.
I don't feel no ways tired.
When it feels the road's too hard.
I come too far.
Yes, we can to justice and equality.
Jive turkey.
And we will not grow weary.
I've come too far to turn.
You better thank a union member. Better thank a union member. You better thank a union member.
Oh, shut up, you phony fucks. I'm Italian, so I mean, shut up your face, you phony fucks.
That was a good one, eh?
And I think I could do even better.
Something.
Hey, boss, I'm going to good.
This is all ridiculous. Jive, mass, hashtag, hate has no home here signs in the yard with the electrified fence around the house. Ha! It's all performative and dumb. It's like seeing your kids' really dumb 4th grade play, only these are the really dumb kids.
Me too. Me too. And you and you and you.
Adult size. Really dumb kids. Do you seriously think you're to be totally owning Elon Musk about patriarchy and capitalism, you guys? Sent to tens of followers around the world meant anything to anyone? in the world. Posers playing dress up continue with I'm vaxxed to the max stickers celebrating COVID jab holes from ass to toe like a junkie trying to find a good vein, which of course with 8 jabs you no longer have. And do you really think that monogrammed mask stopped the dreaded COVID any more than it stopped the wonderful smell of pizza getting through your face hole? The mask, like your EV and everything else, was a childish talisman badge of honor showing fealty to the team. So it's playing dress up. Deeper than that. It's the weak and the powerless needing to feel some control over the godless, purposeless, childless, friendless world they've created. The full human connections are leaving them empty and alone, like a CNN host on prom night. And today, it leaves them desperately grasping at the liberal causes du jour, struggling to latch onto anything to secure against the endless abyss of emptiness as they fall through portals of discontent, iPhone, social media, shopping at Trader Joe's, but not knowing why that BLM sign in the front yard and the EV in the driveway didn't save the world or make them cool. Never were, never will be. But they're desperate to find meaning to be on the winning team. Heavy stuff. And what the hell does that have to do with the weather? A lot, actually. As usual, it's a tragedy and also a comedy, like Whoopi Goldberg looking like a reincarnated Buddha.
Whoopi Goldberg appeared to have something in her mouth.
In a muumuu contemplating a box of donuts, or Kamala contemplating the geopolitical significance of, in her heady words, so Ukraine is a country in Europe.
Ukraine is a country in Europe.
It exists next to another country called Russia.
It exists next to another country called Russia.
Russia is the bigger country. Russia is the powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically that's and our inspiring Madam Veep made that insightful statement without being even a little bit drunk.
I'm gonna go down to the river.
Well, it looks like somebody's really relaxed.
Cheers, Kemi.
And he's gonna speak in a minute, but there's a lot of love in this room.
But still maintaining her trademark gargantuan levels of stupid. Anyway, tonight's show is brought to you by Pfizer. Not really, it's about climate change, so it's brought to you by bullshit. So here we go. Finally, if you believe climate change is an existential threat that will end life on Earth in 12 years, you're an idiot. And if you don't see it's the most obvious grifter scam in the history of tyranny, you're a liberal. Both. So it was global warming, global heating, global freezing. Yeah, really. No mention of La Nina or El Nino. Where's the diversity, man? Is it with the breakfast tacos at Dr. Jill's favorite bodega?
The bodegas of the Bronx?
Now it's climate change. But it used to be fun, like, I'm Mr. Heat Miser.
I'm Mr. Green Christmas.
And then Mr. Cold Miser.
I'm Mr. 10 Below.
And then, I don't know. Both?
I lived through the Black Plague and I had a pretty good time during that.
I know, Greta. That's all wrong.
How dare you?
Greta Thunberg, a child, a spectrum child, but she's just as learned and sciencey and annoying as those other bullshit artists of the World Economic Forum, and libs listen to her. Unbelievable. It's like taking career advice from P. Diddy. You're gonna get too hot, too cold, or whatever. We're all going to die. Climate alarmists, sometimes hilariously known as scientists, have been wrong every time since the 70s.
Whatever we think of will appear and destroy us.
The 1870s, if you count the seminal paper by Swedish scientist Svante Pääbo or whatever, who first predicted that changes in the atmospheric carbon dioxide levels could substantially alter the surface temperatures through the greenhouse effect. His name was Svante, like idiots Svante, but just the idiot part. But some clever tyrants went with it and came up with the Goldilocks just right bowl of shit, and now we have climate change. Lie to me once, shame on you. Lie to me more than Fauci under oath, shut up. And then you want to make me pay the $100 trillion tab, in the immortal words of Tom Cruise as Harvey Weinstein. Go fuck yourself. Climate change, like all liberal fads riling up crazy liberal idiots to be inspired to glue their faces to the asphalt in protest of being really dumb.
My face was totally glued.
I guess, is grift and corruption served by lies and more lies. Remember that Goebbels thing? Tell a lie big enough and often enough, and people will believe anything and possibly glue their empty skulls to the street. Something like that. So big, ridiculous lies, as usual, and unsurprisingly, it's always part of a grift and enslaved paradigm, but covertly, because they're sneaky and awful people, the climate change monster includes a heaping helping of eugenics, reducing the world population by 7 billion or so, save a few twinks or tweens for the grand reopening of Epstein Island, but eugenics is in the climate change mix. At the heart of it, actually. Eugenics, mass murder by weaponizing the weather. Funny stuff, you globalist scumbags. Speaking of which, Klaus Schwab has stepped down as spokesmodel head, and it's quite a head, of the Fourth Reich, or the WEF or whatever. The unelected self-appointed king of the world, which sucks because I've nailed the Hitler meets Dr. Evil accent.
All right, zip it.
Klaus Schwab.
Zip it. Zip.
But don't worry, wherever he's going, it ain't away, because they're sneaky and relentless and show up like herpes on a honeymoon, or Obama for a third term. Same thing, zing. But it's probably more like if Darth Vader and Obi-Wan were playing role reversal cosplay. Sure, if you strike me down, I will become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Oh, I can imagine quite a bit.
And also, Klaus Schwab will probably show up for a cameo as Dr. Evil on The Bachelor, Epstein Island. Eddie, that's a good idea for a show. Let's do that one, since we're not doing this one. So, imagine yourself as a useless, imbecilic, yet audacious,
embarrassment to the time and people of this country,
power-mad grifter tyrant foaming at the mouth, busting out of your pantsuit with excitement.
Be sure and tell them Large Marge sent you.
Ready to cash in on a thing that's even scarier than COVID. And it's big, in fact, it's everywhere. Well, at least it's a teeny part of everywhere. And it's scary, and it's so big and scary and everywhere that nobody will notice. It's patently ridiculous to claim that it has an impact if it's happening at all, which it isn't when you take a look-see at geologic time, if you're not a retard or a Tarrant or both, as usual. But it's also so small and everywhere that maybe nobody will notice, demanding getting rid of the stuffed carbon-based life forms for the Dr. Jills or Ivy League, CNN, and MSNBC idiot lesbians like Rachel Maddow and Anderson Cooper.
That is just factually incorrect.
See, no penis reference or penis in sight.
Why is that? Do you think this man has no taste?
Carbon-based life forms, that's people and plants, and even the big dumb round thing they live on, as an innate part of the big dumb ecosystem where everything is connected in a dynamic, perfect proportion.
Look who knows so much.
Need that CO2 stuff to live. Who knew? Now, picture somebody gasping for air while squeezing into their size 40 pantsuit.
That guy in a little coat.
In a moment of grifter tyrant brilliance, how about a global tax on every breath you take for everything on Earth, including the herds of gassy cows on the ranch and also on The View?
Excuse me. Yeah, whoa.
Then call a meeting of the fellow travelers at the intersection of irony, hypocrisy, and stupid, the same place you'll find Leo DiCaprio's private jet parked at a climate summit in the Alps, with diesel generators firing up to de-ice wind turbines not quite powerful enough to run the ice machine in the Grand Ballroom, which is another name for Leo's baller suite. Get it? Baller. It's like the Magic Johnson thing.
It's true. It's true.
I don't care what you say, that's good stuff. But diesel generators melting the ice on the wind turbines. That's hilarious. I told you this stuff was funny. Anyway, although at least when frozen, the windmills aren't killing bald eagles by the score. And what a score it is. The climate change scam, and probably whatever supermodel Leo is wooing. So climate change, the biggest score in the history of tyranny. Right, so do you feel a little bit scared or a lot bit guilty because it's hot in the summer sometimes? Do you think your SUV with the BLM bumper sticker is to blame? Do you disregard times when the winter gets cold? Sometimes from your emotional, non-critical thinking?
Well, that's because you're an idiot.
Have you considered geological time measuring by billions of years? How about the sun? Do you consider that giant nuclear furnace so large it can fit 1 million Earths in its fiery belly, which is more than Al Gore? And it's so large that its gravitational force holds the solar system together, like Whoopi's mask keeps the dessert table at The View from leaving her unstuffed. Gross. But is it possible that the sun might have something to do with temperature? It's a nuclear furnace that's as big as the sun, like it has through its life-giving general largeness and sunspot flares for a few billion years or so.
Sun God will have his vengeance.
What's he waiting for?
But maybe it's worth considering in the examination of the greatest, or at least latest, greatest existential threat to humanity, the dreaded, scary, invisible monster climate change. Right? No. As climate change enthusiasts are screaming that the Earth is heating up because of anthropogenic abuse, for those of you in Rio Linda, that means people did it. So people are causing increases in carbon dioxide, CO2, the previously underappreciated greenhouse gas that humans and plants feed each other for life, to stratospheric atmospheric proportions. So the Earth was cooling and freezing too. But no need to quibble about a few billion years of geologic time when the Earth is on fire.
And we're all going to die soon.
We're not. Because it's not. So lately, the climate change deranged demand reducing CO2 to 0 because AOC said we'd all be dead in 12 years if we don't. And she's a bartender, and she used to be pretty, so we'd better listen. Also, the Brad Pitt rule doesn't apply here. He's still gorgeous.
I mean, that sounds gay. I just want you to know.
And so, to save the world, we need to pile up all the gas cars that are on that fake Pacific island of plastic and trash or whatever, and push it further out to sea so polar bears have a place to play when the ice caps melt. I think it's something like that. Despite the fact, and facts are a thing, the ice caps have never been larger and thicker Also like Al Gore.
That's what's boiling the oceans.
Then we must mandate buying Teslas or electric bus rides if you're 100K short, and level a couple countries worth of prime earth-saving real estate to make way for wind farms, which kill all the stuff that lived there before the land was raised, or swam nearby before the massive concrete posts were mounted to the ocean floor and electrified. Like a Supreme Court justice, I'm not a marine biologist or a diversity hire, but what could go wrong? Also, because the earth is melting, we need to shut down oil production and blow up coal plants in the US before ordering solar panels from China, where they appreciate coal plants, especially the ones without environmental safeguards. China also likes EV battery element mining operations, the ones that are cool with child slavery and regular slavery. And of course, a few other facts were omitted or banned from the discussion. Libs shriek and scream great. But debate? Not so much. So, how about some pesky facts about CO2 and temperature? Spoiler, we need more. Anyway, there have been 6 ice ages, each having more CO2 in the atmosphere than the Earth has now. A lot more, from 20% with each ice age to current a measly 0.004%. Cutting the current paltry carbon dioxide figure in half would cause all plant life on Earth to die.
Right, that's bad.
The good news for those hell-bent on saving the Earth, cutting to zero carbon emissions, as loony libs want, would eliminate the existential threat because there would be no life left in existence. A liberal win-win if you remove logic from the equation, which they do. Earth has been in the Pleistocene? Something ice age for 200 million years, with 40 ice ages coming and going, including the underappreciated and sadly forgotten Little Ice Age that wrapped up around 1814, the start of the modern warming period.
97 degrees up there.
That's hot.
Earth's temperature has changed 1 degree Celsius in the last 200 million years. That's 1 degree.
This is all wrong.
Which isn't even enough, by the way. The warmer times are greener times. Earth is currently in an interglacial age which began a mere 34 million years ago, across which temperatures have been 5 degrees higher and sea levels have been 7 degrees higher than Leah Thomas's trophy shelf, which is a dumb joke, like letting a giant dude swim with the ladies. So, dear Lady Leah of autogynephilia fame, maybe stick with getting off on wearing mommy's sissy hypnotification clothes. I think that's how you say that.
Man, I feel like a woman.
And stay out of the ladies' pool, you cheating perv. Or go beat the boxing lady silly in the Olympics. That seems cool these days.
She turned a test that showed elevated levels of testosterone.
Serious?
Another time when a Louisville slugger could have evened the playing field. So anyway, allergic to evidence and reason, climate change tyrant grifters lie. They also cheat, of course, as always, not just elections and taxes and on Jill Biden's first husband. They measure temperature on the asphalt, measure Antarctic ice sheets during thaw season, the usual. But why? As always, power, control, grift, and corruption, and because they're shitty people, climate change includes a sinister side hustle of reducing the world population down to nada.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero.
That's suspicious.
So here comes the climate change taxed to death, literally, enthusiast.
First, we've got population.
Taking another shot at eugenics to save the world by killing everybody.
That's weird. And
by the way, here's the mind blower fun fact. Total population of the world at the density, not like KJP dense.
Clearly, I would like to,
but as a unit of smushiness, would fit in Texas. Now, nobody wants that. It would smell like Michael Moore's Depends. But the point is, eugenics disguised as climate change, eco-Nazism is, bad. On the way to culling the herd is the regular scam part, fleecing and taxing and scaring the shit out of everybody until you can't even beg for more, which liberals do, is the real point. Good Lord, such idiots. Dangerous, useful idiots. Dangerous, endlessly annoying, useful idiots. I hate that. No, I don't. I love everybody. Did you know you bought $7 billion worth of EV charging stations and your loving government has produced exactly one? Buttigieg proudly said it was 7.
But we've been working with each of the 50 states, engaging them in the first handful. Again, by 2030, 500,000 chargers.
Well done. Again, no need to quibble about a few billion on the way to a trillion, zillion, gabillion. It's all a scam. So Julian Simon, a brilliant academic guy who fought the climate change BSers, noted poetically about climate eugenics. What business do I have helping arrange that fewer human beings will be born? Each of whom might be a Mozart, a Michelangelo, or Einstein, or the very handsome Leo DiCaprio flying private to a climate summit. I added that last bit. Anyway, what business do I have, he said. Exactly. But for grifter tyrant losers, it is business. It's big, big, whoopee-sized 52 Buddha moo business. It's really big. It means it's really big. So to make the Frankenstein green energy monster come to life, an army of liberal loser scientist whores. Eager to get paid and be on the winning team for once, most still can't get a date with non-inflatable girls. We're engaged by the power seekers and given carte blanche access across every media whore platform. So all of them, along with the already bought and paid for losers and whores, which 99% of scientists agree make up 99% of the scientific community. Education system, media.
We are going to deal with that.
With your looks, maybe bitchy's not the way to go.
And anyone with a New York Times at Starbucks. All joined in noble battle to spread industrial-sized lies and pablum to scare the shit out of kids and other underdeveloped IQs and weaponize the Save the Planet army of losers. Tax and grift and starve everybody to death.
And see how we can get this down to zero.
Remember, these are liberals running the climate change apocalypse scam. Simpleton losers, so even many of the political class of simpleton losers only there to cash in are scared of everything and ready to succumb to appeals to authority from abject liars and failures at every turn.
I told my 9-year-old daughter that I was going to be speaking with you, and I said, what do you think about the climate change? And she said, the earth is on fire and we're all going to die soon.
You know, when I was little, I used to pretend you weren't my mother.
Plus, they're joining the big leagues to Save the Planet team, and all they have to do is shriek and wail and lie and cheat and steal to get a trophy. The climate change scientists who couldn't get work in the science field.
You are one pathetic loser.
And the unelected IPCC and United Nations pretend politicians appointed themselves and charged you for their important first-class trips to Kyoto, Japan, and Paris, France, I think it's France, and fired up private jets to head out into sunny skies and sign the Kyoto Protocol and Paris Accord while jostling in line for sushi, Dom Perignon, and prostitutes, although not necessarily in that order.
Given the type of people you are and the environment you're in, you have to admit the strong probability that this may be the only chance you will ever have in your entire lives to have sex.
Because of media and education system whores and losers, you probably didn't hear about the 19,000 scientists who spoke against the Kyoto Protocol, the collectivist global treaty pledging greenhouse gas reduction to Zippo. But some fought it, including renowned climate scientist, an actual one, John Coleman, the founder of the Weather Channel, and a wonderful learned guy, and also winner of a lawsuit against the producers of An Inconvenient Truth, the movie fantasy pseudoscience posing as fact for exposing the big fat climate changing lies of big fat liar Al Gore.
That guy in a little coat.
I resent you calling me a denier. That is a word meant to put me down. I'm a skeptic about climate change. I was the founder of the Weather Channel.
John Coleman noted concisely because he was an honorable man and not a science whore, which is a thing, a weird thing, but it's a thing. He said,
climate change is not happening.
There is no significant man-made global warming now.
There is no significant man-made global warming now. There hasn't been any in the past.
There hasn't been any in the past.
Just a minute, I'm not done.
And there's no reason to expect any in the future.
And if you get down to the hard, cold facts.
Stating as fact that 97% of scientists agree that climate change is real is classic weaponized jibe.
Well, there is no consensus in science. Science isn't a vote. Science is about facts.
And as usual for liberals, a selectively edited, strategically constructed appeal to authority.
There's a whole lot of baloney.
Nice manners, babe.
Highly charged, emotional hunk of propaganda. More concisely, bullshit. 97% of a few out-of-work academic losers were asked if the weather changes sometimes, and they agreed. No shit. So the lying libs have been lying about this for almost 100 years, having adeptly and brazenly rebranded global warming, global cooling, global freezing, and the underappreciated the hole in the ozone is bigger than Hillary's pantsuit. Ooh. Every time the Earth's temperature went up or down or stayed the same, as it has been doing like clockwork 4 or 5 billion years. Give or take. The clever, fear-mongering grifter tyrants, now afraid of commitment to temperature or anything resembling science, seem to have found their ultimate home for the manufactured crisis, the all-encompassing, all-taxing for all living and breathing things, climate change. The climate change manufactured crisis is the ultimate weapon of tyrannical tax and control, complementing the COVID manufactured crisis, as the evil conjoined twins of corruption metastasize in tandem to capture everything from ancient history to a fake modeled future, clamping down hard on everything, your car, your business, your cow's anus. So yes, everything. So climate change is an incongruent truth. A much better name than Al Gore's scam movie, which I must admit, I believed because I was a child. a child. Anyway, didn't that beach whale scam grifter say we'd be underwater by now? Yes, that fucker sure did. Still does. Anyway, sorry, Al, and whatever unfortunate masseuse is taking a Purell bath after your hotel visit. Carbon dioxide is not a driver of temperature, but actually, like reality, a result of dynamic weather and the giant nuclear furnace blasting away at the center of the solar system. That's hot. CO2 is the lowest in the history of Earth. We need more. Life eats that stuff up. Did you know that sunspot activity changes the temperature of the Earth, causing warming periods and ice ages, like the mini ice age we just mentioned? Did you know that the Earth has been warmer and greener in the past, and life thrived even more than at present? Did you know the polar caps have never been thicker? And those pictures of them melting are manipulated.
Arctic polar bears are facing near extinction by the end of the century.
Antarctica hasn't warmed in the last 70 years, and the ice sheet is actually expanding.
If the sea ice they depend on continues to disappear.
You are right, liar.
To scarily amplify otherwise naturally occurring seasonal changes.
Well, the polar bears are thriving. In fact, 50 years ago, there were only 5,000 to 10,000 of these species. Today, there are over 25,000.
Did you know that taking the temperature of a hot asphalt parking lot is another shitty, fraudulent thing climate scammers do to scare idiots into thinking the Earth is on fire? They do that. They're assholes. All right, not that it matters to those busy following the science, but there is zero proof that CO2 has any correlation to temperature. Zero, which science suggests is small. Did you know there weren't any SUVs around when the Earth was toastier than today? Did you know that climate scientists are losers?
That's been going on for far too long.
Unemployable academics using models instead of evidence?
It's now infected our entire body politic.
Models do whatever you want them to do, like Leo DiCaprio knows. And hockey stick enthusiast Michael Mann, not the cool Miami Vice Michael Mann guy, rather a noted climate scam, very litigious loser.
This decision will create a little bit more space now for my fellow scientists to do that.
The hockey stick model thing, Michael Mann's Earth temp zooming up to broil, hotter than the sun or some shit. Although I fully endorse everything the learned Mr. Mann has to say, legally speaking.
The defense is wrong.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Reality speaking, the only useful climate models are the weather girls on Telemundo. Whoa, mamacita.
Muy buenos días, ¿cómo están? Ya estoy con ustedes aquí en Telediario Matutino.
Just heard about the hottest day on record? Well, hottest since when? One with a functioning brain might be inclined to ask. The answer, unheard of by libs, is that at its peak across geologic time, the Earth was 5 degrees warmer than today. When Jesus was zipping around the desert, it was 4 degrees cooler than the warmest and during the Dark Ages. So, Vikings enjoyed warm temperatures and sunny outlooks while rampaging. There were 6 great ice ages. We just had a mini one, so surprise, surprise, it's been warming up a little bit since. Things have cooled since the medieval warming and warmed up a little bit since the little ice age. Duh. So, to understand geologic time, it's as expansive as the greed and corruption and the pantsuits of liberal ruling class tyrants. The Earth is not on fire because it was hot last year. Think much bigger, like eons, or maybe take a break from saving the world, sit quietly in contemplation at the local Starbucks think tank, and keep your retarded opinions to yourself. Or if you can't do that, which you can't. Lest we forget the long forgotten, consider the ClimateGate emails where the scientific consensus climate change scientists were worried about cooking the climate model data in time for the next Save the Planet conference.
You promised me last year that you would take me to Hawaii.
So other important climate data analyzed by these learned minds with disappearing Speedos included questions of whether the weather at the 5-star resort was going to continue to get colder, like their uncooperative thermometers kept reporting, and if the place has a martini bar. Isn't it funny too? The loser scientists couldn't even contrive the model data well. They couldn't even fake the fake facts. Seriously, it took a few tries to plug in the result desired, tweak to taste, and spit out the ugly, we're all gonna die model data. A model uglier than Megan Rapinoe on the cover of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Ew. So, like any climate emergency requires, private jets were again dispatched to 5-star resorts for Davos elites who talk climate change, French champagne, and 5-star prostitutes. And a Zoom link, a box of wine, and OnlyFans account would have done the trick. And even with the extra work programming the fake data with a few keystrokes, the benefits packages are a pretty good deal, since the hoi polloi are paying the Paris and Copenhagen and Kyoto fungible accords bill for unelected globalist scamster scumbags, minibars, private jets, and whores divorce. The one sans the divorce part. Whores. You get it. I hope. Ultimately, and more importantly, beyond funding the loser scientists' loser science, we rabble are paying the price for the untenable green energy costs, already decimating the third world and the middle class's ability to fill up our jets. Seriously, do you know that 10 times the number of people die from cold versus heat? What the hell are you talking about? Warming reduces hurricanes. The same goes for floods and droughts.
Who are you talking to?
All of which are lessening in force and frequency, unlike Michael Moore, bloviations, and other bovine flatulence. Flatulence? And other bovine flatulence. And speaking of climate bullshit, did you know that well-managed grazing production systems allow livestock manure containing carbon and nitrogen to re-enter the soil, fostering increased plant growth and sequestering more carbon? Did you ever notice the CO2 generator chugging away in the corner of every greenhouse that has green stuff thriving inside?
I see what you're trying to do.
Yes, CO2 is life, and they want to remove it. That's weird. Huh. Did you know wildfires are decreasing in force and frequency? There are less, but they keep trying, don't they? The few incidents that get out of hand are due to government incompetence managing forestation and eco-terrorist professors' deforestation adept usage of irony-free gasoline to set the world afire.
Professor facing arson charges.
The Maui fire was more of a combination of government incompetence facilitating a murderous real estate maneuver.
Maui emergency authorities are defending the decision not to sound sirens during the wildfire's peak.
The money-making strategy taught at my seminar.
Do you know Earth is a giant perpetual oil-producing life force?
Mother Nature, I didn't know you were so fine on the vine.
Well, there's a lot you don't know.
And the stuff your gas-powered engines and your coal-powered EVs eat for energy was not actually made from dinosaurs? Huh. Mother Earth makes an endless supply, and it's found everywhere on Earth. Everywhere. Under everything, but everywhere. Did you know oil is the fundamental element in the lifeblood of life on Earth, powering the manufacturing of everything we touch and build and consume, and used to tweet about how we need to get rid of oil on the way to the airport in a Tesla. People have been around for one geological second relative to the history of Earth. There's plenty of room and there's plenty of gas, like Michael Moore's model physique after second lunch. So, Malthusian meathead purveyors of doom can go suck a tailpipe, and so can Michael Moore. Hashtag irony. Even accepting the premise of a man-made mess of increased atmospheric CO2, bringing increases in temperature, and polar bears dancing on their tiptoes on top of the last ice cube-sized polar ice cap, which you shouldn't, because it's anthropogenic bullshit. None of the remedies work, except as tax and control, grift, and enslaved machines, which work great. But before accepting any of the green energy scam, one must dutifully forget, like Jill Biden's wedding ring when she was downloading President Joe. Oil is the common denominator of everything. Just don't tell the vegans screaming at their oily iPhone about tractors and trucks and tech that manufactured and filled their breakfast bowl of cashy-bit cardboard crap cakes. So, wind and solar supply a whopping 3% of the world's energy. As long as you don't discount for the energy blown to produce the unproductiveness of the miraculous feats of stupid. Better, hydro dams are a powerful all-natural supplement to the oil-making machine that is Earth, and a great place for libs to sacrifice themselves to the gods of irony while saving the same Earth from a particularly maddening brand of petulance.
Protest to call attention to the climate crisis.
Glued themselves beneath an exhibit of Vincent van Gogh's Sunflower.
That's naughty behavior.
And stupid.
What is worth more, art or life?
Vincent Van Gogh yourself.
Interestingly, the best and cleanest and safest and most efficient energy solution by orders of magnitude is nuclear. But until the grifter class could force everybody into nuclear Teslas, which would be so cool, and force everybody to forget about Jane Fonda, which would be even cooler, the ATMs are to be found elsewhere. Fun fact, solar panels are made from oil. So, from the EVs on the road to nowhere to wind farmageddon for wildlife.
Golden eagles are majestic birds. So what's killing these animals?
As it turns out, the culprit is wind turbines.
And solar panels that power nothing much but the Chinese economy, none of them work.
Still a stupid.
Except for powering irony, grift, and stupid, which works fucking great. So, ready for some fantastic EV BS? Imagine an Earth-saving electric vehicle that gobbles up more energy to produce and operate than 50 gas-powered cars.
Stupid.
So, imagine all of them. Its Goldilocks design runs out of juice when it's too cold or too hot, or even when the temperature outside is just right. The batteries tend to burst into what are estimated to be eternal flames. So, maybe they do work. So, your Goldilocks car, and you know how annoying she was, breaking and entering, then bitching about the accommodations. Will the car go when it's too cold? No. Too hot? Not really. And when the temperature's just right? Oh, shut up. You wouldn't accept this kind of bullshit from some little bitch catching a case for B&E, or even the slaves mining the shit for your Tesla's battery. Imagine not working if it's too hot. Come on, slaves. Sure, you're only 8 years old, but didn't your slave parents teach you anything about large white women's demand for Teslas to take them to Starbucks so they can get larger? Have some pride in your slave work. Just look at LeBron's Nikes. Nike? Yeah, but slaves. Good job. And the slaves don't even get to wear the Nikes, except for smash and grab reparations.
Stay on target.
Yeah, right. What the fuck were we talking about?
Stay on target.
It takes 2,000 to 7,000% unit of energy to deliver green energy cars and windmills and solar panels.
Stupid.
And stupid than evil oil and gas and hydro and nuclear to deliver that shiny Tesla to the showroom floor. It takes 1,000% more materials to deliver the same unit of power needed than a combustible turbine gas machine. They suck in direct proportion to the people who drive them. But hey, the good news is it only requires 400% more metals and minerals than the gas-powered limousine with beefed-up suspension driving big fat liar Al Gore's big fat body to a private jet named Twinkie. Think of it this way. It takes an oil tanker filled with, well, oil, 1,000 dead bald eagles and child slaves to make a Tesla or a windmill. And this is so perfect. Finding a feather which might be from a spotted owl will stop construction on a children's hospital, but the Save the Planet Idiots picnic on 400 orders of bald eagle ball soup at the base of their sexy windmill, which ain't blowing like, never mind, President Kamala. Awesome. So how about some more mind-numbing numbers for the masochists, which you know you are, and sadists. That's you too. 5,000 pounds of materials are required to produce 1,000 pounds of EV battery plus slaves. When your green team EV does function, it's juiced by a battery made of elements gouged from earth-ravaging strip mines, many owned by Chinese and other notorious slaver countries.
Like 50 times I've tried to explain this.
Enemies of America. But of course, taking America down is a bonus.
If he wants to build a coal power plant, they can. It's just that it will bankrupt them because they're going to be charged a huge sum for all that greenhouse gas that's being emitted.
You dick! Maybe even the primary goal. Anyway, the batteries don't last and never decompose either.
Yes, I see now what you are saying.
And by the way, electricity comes from coal, natural gas, and you guessed it, if you're not an idiot liberal or liberal, same thing. Oil. Before mile one of your EB, the magical petroleum-free machine has consumed 25 barrels of oil.
Black gold, Texas tea.
Coal will power it from there. It's a cosmic joke. Fucking must be. So it will never, ever work. Get this. It will take extracting a quantity of materials for the transition from liquids and gases to green energy clean tech. Equal or greater than for all the stuff humanity extracts and moves and grows for all other purposes combined. All of it. Equal or greater than all of it. The greening process, will also consume 700 to 7,000 increase in energy transition mining production to produce the green energy revolution stuff. Hundreds of massive earth-scorching mineral mines, plus an even greater increase in child slave labor, which probably should be net zero child slaves, you fuckers. On a lighter note, the green machine materials costs are going up 300%, so better start saving for your $300,000 earth-saving Tesla. Hey, did you know that it takes 8 barrels of oil to make a combustion engine car, 50 barrels for an EV, and coal to make the electric car go? Your electric car is made of oil. Shit tons of it. So maybe you don't want to hear about the child slaves working the cobalt mines for your Tesla battery to push it on for a few more miles unless it's cold outside or hot or whatever. Battery's on fire. Too bad. So remember those useless climate models? Not Michael Mann's. His are great. Totally accurate, legally speaking.
Objection, Your Honor. Can we clarify to the court whether the witness is stating opinion or fact?
It's a fact.
But oddly, the green energy economists are not modeling the exponential increase in mining costs when forecasting the exponential increases in green energy production. One wonders if congressional stock portfolio dividends are rising in proportion. Speaking of which, Nancy Pelosi is an investment savant. Or it's Paul Pelosi making the uncannily shrewd investments when he's not getting hammered by a creepy kidnappy dude when Nancy's not home. Look it up. That's a very weird off-label use for a hammer, fellas. But maybe the Pelosi household houses 2 Warren Buffetts in addition to a very impressive gelato cache. Remember her posing her facelift frozen face in front of her $20,000 freezer filled with ice cream or whatever? Billionaire on a couple $100K congressional salary. Well done. Utterly corrupt, always drunk, retard.
And the integrity.
Honestly, well done. And really, we hope there's enough CO2 left to unfreeze her face. Hopefully, global warming will help. Discounting the untenable problems caused and exacerbated by the EV battery solution production, those things weigh a ton, or a metric ton if you want to adopt the ridiculous loser John Kerry's aristocratic pomposity and parrot globalist fancy speak idiocy.
We, select group of human beings,
when dreaming of filling green energy long-haul trucks delivering rainbows and unicorns,
we're able to sit in a room and come together and actually talk about saving the planet.
Those not suffering from liberalism know that it's really about delivering truckloads of tyranny and grift and cash washed down with Dom Perignon while getting a tantric release handy from hefty Al Gore's unfortunate masseuse. Like using a crane to whale lift Al Gore and Whoopi onto a flatbed truck. The regular beds must bow considerably, right? Anyway, EV truck batteries are so heavy that Class 8 trucks carrying that weight are not going to go far, since they will never be produced because it will never work. No matter how much tax money you throw at a truck battery, they are limited by the unbreakable laws of physics and thermodynamics, unlike liberal scammers and Whoopi's bedroom set. And the largest shares of charging stations are owned by ChargePoint and Tesla, so the US government, which is owned by China. And guess what? EV battery plants in the US are owned by Chinese communists too, enjoying US investment kickbacks from the grifter class, producing useless EV batteries sold to the US virtue signal idiot class. At least Tesla escaped to Texas. So that's hopeful. Well, more fun! There are over 8,000 parts to a wind turbine, which are delivered over global supply chains via petroleum-fueled ships, rail, air, and trucks to the assembly factory. Windmills require petroleum every single step of their life cycle.
Right, okay, people, you have to tell me these things, okay? Throw me a frickin' bone here.
Because if you recall, petroleum is the reason everything that is. It's a fucking grip. Anyway, so wind blows seasonally, so for much of the time, there isn't much wind, except for Al Gore, thankfully. But when there's too much wind blowing for the grid to manage or fall over or black out, it has to be curtailed. It drives electricity prices to zero, driving natural gas and oil and nuclear power plants down for the count. Remember when it got cold in Texas and everybody froze to death? Good job. So if the blades freeze or if the wind is over 55 miles per hour, the wind turbine also has to shut down or risk being damaged. The best wind is too high to capture. The majority of the day is too low to capture shit. Here's the kicker, and it's unreal, but you know, real. Did you know wind turbine cost doesn't get recouped or even close to breaking even for 20 years? And windmill life expectancy is 21 years. It's all a fucking scam. And worse, wind farm installations level thousands of miles of land and wildlife, steamrolling plants and animals on the way to not producing enough energy to spin the blades. When not slicing and dicing wildlife, the monstrous windmills, which tend to burst into flames of irony when finally producing heat, deliver the ultimate irony, as these useless monuments to grift and stupid often require diesel engines to de-ice their broken wings. Diesel to de-ice the windmills. Awesome. Less awesome. Did you know the Fish and Wildlife Commission grants a 4,200 annual take limit on bald eagles with each wind turbine application? Total bird deaths from collisions with wind turbines are estimated to be between 140,000 and 328,000 per year, including thousands of eagles and hawks and overachieving chickens. Even better, some more telling irony. Climate czar John Kerry fought hard for wind turbines not to be installed near his home. In his defense, it's a rather nice home, among several made from extra helpings of the Heinz ketchup fortune generated from marrying well. Those private jets aren't going to power themselves, you know. Funnier still is Kerry's highly affected aristocratic accent. After exiting his ketchup queen wife's private jet, noted imbecile, liar, and desperate to be 18th century French royalty.
Dinner, here, got you guys. French fries!
Monsieur Kerry said he had never owned one, flown one, or seen one on TV. After stepping in another pile of hypocritic excrement, he was forced to brilliantly pivot, changing his story from, "We aristocrats need to fly private because we're doing important work and it's offset by the important work and fake scammy carbon credits and French pastries or something snooty and aloofy and mind-bendingly retarded." The balls on this clown, climate czar, and Herman Munster doppelganger once said with a straight and very long face, China is the environmental leader of the world. China, where the sky is black over the coal plants peopled with slaves. So as always with libs, when driven by hysteria, as always with libs, there's no room for logic or consideration that after raising acres of land and sea to make way for this sexy, futuristic-looking wind farm site, and before the windmills are busy decimating wildlife while not producing energy net gains, another mildly important problem to be solved is electrifying transportation. So, how can you deliver the 8,000 parts of a wind turbine to the assembly factory and deliver it to the final site? Mine ore and get it to the ore crushing plant, deliver tons of cement to make the wind turbine platform, or truck the 100-foot long tower pieces, the heavy-duty cement, long-haul trucks carrying the turbine, and the cranes used to lift the pieces into a 300-foot tall turbine run on diesel, not electrified. Liberal lies. Wait, what? Huh? What? So, piles of dead whales are washing up off coastal wind farm installations. Jewish whales, apparently, for no reason. One wonders if increases in anthropogenic people noise and electromagnetic fields are deafening and otherwise harming the noble creatures which are ending up beached like the Pritzker family on a Florida weekend. What? Windmill enthusiast scientists and their investment brokers say there's no connection. Thank God. China manufactures the earth-saving solar panels currently not powering anything anywhere around the world at any of their growing army of unregulated coal plants, peppering the landscape and blocking out the sun. Funny stuff. Had enough? Me too. But too bad. So, did you know that the Honorable Associated Press received $8 million to promote climate change? Less funny than these wannabe tyrants pushing you into coal-powered, unaffordable, and remarkably combustible EVs as the West goes bankrupt funding the lavish lifestyles of inbred royalty and other low-IQ global citizens. The third world goes dead. Energy costs are skyrocketing, so less of everything for the third world. So much for developing nations. It's real live eugenics, the stuff of Margaret Sanger and other Nazi enthusiasts like Bill Gates and his proud papa, and his meatless murder of barbecues around around the world and the homicidal humanitarian dreams of depopulating 7 billion meat bags. That's liberal for people from the planet. So, taking a break from that heavy stuff, because if you didn't see it on CNN, it isn't real. A short lifetime ago, celebrating a stolen election, a Democrat favorite electric bus company enjoyed a factory visit from the triumvirate of stupid Biden, Kamala, and Mayor Pete, and yet somehow lost $8 billion in taxpayer funding and went bankrupt 20 minutes later. Even more impressive than Obama's $500 million Solyndra scam, that's still a pretty good score for the grift machine. Another fun fact, the much lauded electric bus fleets need 2 for the price of 2, since schools and municipalities and Kamala's short bus require 2 fleets, with one charging while the other goes out for a short run, as long as it's not too cold or hot or whatever. But the double your benefits doesn't stop there, as the ever-inspiring president of the U.S. Department of Stupid noted, the bus has Wi-Fi and even USB outlets next to every seat. I mean, come on, imagine. You can charge your phone. I'm excited about electric school buses. I love electric school buses. I just love them.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
Maybe because I went to school on a school bus. A short one. Hey, raise your hand if you went to school on a school bus, she said. Excitedly, because she's retarded. And a grifter and a straight-up commie.
I will snatch their patent so that we will take over. Yes, we can do that.
Yes, we can.
And drunk. And our next president. God. So, the EV lies are legion. For higher educated libs, Ivy Leaguers, that means there's a lot of them. For now, the grift and enslaved model, that is green energy, includes gas-burning cars to complement the taxation by subsidy EV price per mile grift model. So, do you wonder if it's possible that your loving government honestly fights evil big oil to lower gas prices, as we hear screamed across the halls of Congress or in the fake Oval Office set for the Biden puppet show? Now it's commies. Shut up. Government gets a percentage piece of the action off the top of the gas prices in the form of a usage tax, like a tribute to the mob boss for a taste of any score that the capos got away with.
And we did the right thing. We gave Paulie his tribute.
That's a mileage tax, sucking you dry like never mind. Word on the street is tax per mile is not a thing. It is a thing. So just like shutting off your EV because your social credit score took a hit or government wants a bigger bite or something like that, that will never happen even though it already has, tax per mile is a thing. Higher prices equal more cash for the government, shutting down U.S. oil production and selling off their strategic oil at a loss, and as a bonus strategically useful to cripple U.S. military power because tanks and stuff don't run well on windmills, increases prices and pays the grifters more by stealing more from you. Got it? Good. So, supply and demand for government grifters equals strangling supply and demanding more grift. Ta-da! Beyond government subsidies powering EVs with taxpayer dollars and public servants making a killing with green energy stock purchases, insider trading is a nice legal cutout for Congress government gangsters to get rich with the traditional pay-to-play model. Remember, there's a reason why Congress people enter middle class or whatever, middle class used to be a thing, and exit the machine as gazillionaires. Pelosi is worth hundreds of millions, billion, probably, Obama. All of them. Do you want to be awarded the next no-bid contract for the next bridge to nowhere, or maybe a couple thousand EV charging stations? Please donate to my campaign and fill a couple of envelopes with some walking around money so I can keep up with the Bernies on my way to Martha's Vineyard. Finally. A funny story about making the Great Barrier Reef great again. A perfect example of the climate change bullshit can be found with a quick peek below the surface of the lie in the surrounding waters. The beautiful and colorful Australian Great Barrier Reef coral, warned super smart, totally uncorruptible climate scientists, losers, was disappearing and we're all going to die because of it. As it turns out, the natural vibrant beauty has never been in better shape, like Daniel Craig in a rainbow bikini. And how about this blast from the past? You probably didn't hear that Mother Nature sent a couple gazillion microbacteria to eat up the infamous British Petroleum, BP for those short on time, oil spill. Either the underwater drilling machine, like Kamala in a wetsuit, blew up and gushed the most devastating oil Armageddon thingy since the last one. Although the Exxon Valdez was funnier because the boat captain was drunk as Nancy Pelosi on her third breakfast martini. After a zillion gallons of evil oil spilled into the mix, today, the local ocean ecology is thriving better than ever. Well, at least until wind farms are installed nearby. Anyway, so the BP spill site is back to its full glory. Whales are having an all-you-can-eat shrimp. Gross, so gross. Escargot, really gross. French trash filth. Suck it, John Curry. On and up and down and sideways across the food chain. Ironically, because every day is opposite day on the land of libs, well, the BP spill site is lovely again. Unlike garbage dump aftermath of liberal eco-warrior parades and other noble demonstrations left in the wake of saving the earth.
The hundreds of thousands of people committed to fighting climate change left mounds of garbage in the wake of their weekend protest march, piles of trash and garbage costumes.
Such hypocrites and pigs, and not the good Charlotte's Web or BLT kind. You know what? Maybe clean your room before saving the planet. At least take a shower, and then clean the damn bathroom too, with really, really harsh chemicals derived from oil, and then complain about it from your oily, petroleum-powered iPhone by following me on X at JD Bono. JD Bono on X. Anyway, so yes, climate change is an existential threat to stupid and annoyingly stupid. An existential threat to tyrannical grifter thieving scumbags with tyrannical thieving scumbag designs to steal all of your money and all of your freedom, decimate the third world on the way to sending the first and second worlds back a couple thousand years, and weaponizing their eco-warrior army of useful idiot loser retards with dreams of, for once in their lives, being on the winning team. But you can't be on the winning team since you're losers, by definition. So yes, we're all going to die if we don't fight climate change right now. By ignoring and, weather permitting, firing, and this is the most important part, relentlessly mocking the lying idiots, grifters, and lying idiot grifters selling the climate change bullshit. A couple of Louisville sluggers might help straighten out this mess too. Toot sweet. Like before the temperature goes up another billionth of a degree. So like when we're driving flying Teslas, which still sound pretty cool.